The first Battle of Alberta is this late into the year. Is it a little bit odd for you guys as well?
Yeah, it usually kind of feels like it's the first game of the season that they get the first one out of the way, but no better time coming off a break. There's no excuses. Everyone's got lots of energy.
You played against Milan Lucic in years past. He's going to be an opponent now. First time in a Battle of Alberta that you face him. I mean, what are your thoughts about the elements that he brings and what he can be like to face?
Yeah, Luch has obviously had a great career, and he's been he's a force on the ice every time he's on the ice. So he's always a guy when you play against him. Everyone's aware of when he's on the ice, and it'll be no different. But it's a big game. Two good teams going at it, so that's the biggest focus here.
You know, when the trade was made in the summer, guys are kind of doing their own thing, so I'm not sure how much they're watching or aware, but I wondered what you thought of such a big deal involving two rivals within the same province.
Yeah, that's the nature of the business, right? I mean, obviously you don't see it often between two rivals, two teams that are so close, but yeah, that's the nature of the business, and you play with guys, and time comes and they move on, and it can be anyone at any time. So he was a great teammate. I think a great guy that we all respected a lot. I had a really good relationship with him, and wish nothing but the best for him.
Did you guys ever talk about the scrap that you had? Did you have a moment where you I don't know, it was a pretty good fight, and you guys talk about that?
Yeah, so we talked about it a couple times. It was a little. I think it was like $1.90 at that time. Bite off a little more than I could chew, but yeah, it happens.
Do you? James Neal comes to you guys, and obviously he's found his way to make an impact. Feels like it's been a good result for you guys as well, having him here.
Oh yeah, Neal's been great. He's another guy, great teammate. What he brings to the ice, he's brought a lot to our team on the ice, especially this year, and real fortunate. I think we're happy to have Neal on the team for sure.
There were nights where Luch would figure out a way to make an impact on a game. A lot of times it was against Calgary. Facing him, how do you not let him be a difference maker with sort of what he brings?
Oh, you just got to play the game. Just got to worry about the game.
Following the game on Monday, a lot of the guys are talking about the timing of the break, especially after the 4-2 loss against the Canucks. Do you get the sense that you personally and maybe as a collective, you guys were able to recalibrate and hit the reset button a little bit?
Yeah, it's 3 days off, 3 days to get away from it. Yeah, it was a lot of hockey played, not the results that we really wanted. We need to step our game up, but that 3 days give us an opportunity to reflect, and it's a big matchup for us tonight.
Thanks, Darnell.
Teammates before. Does it give you a little extra juice?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think it's a little more weird than anything. I think it's always kind of one of those games that you want to get up for, but it's always a little bit different. It's a little easier when you're at home and going through your normal routine. I think it's a little different when you're going to the rink you used to play in and you're walking in all the different sides. So done it before, and but I don't think it gets any easier, that's for sure.
A bit different in the fact that it's a big rivalry, Battle of Alberta, and two teams, these are pretty meaningful points now as you look down into the second half.
Yeah, second half here, and they're real meaningful points. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be exciting, and it always is when these two teams meet up. So for us, we got to get refocused, get our minds right for tonight, and have a big game.
Do you get any games more if you're chirping? So you chirp guys. Some guys seem to chirp guys they know more than guys they don't.
I mean, I think it depends on the game. I don't know how much chirping will be going on tonight, just because of how big of a game it is and how meaningful these points are. So we'll feel it out, see how it goes, but we'll be ready to go tonight.
Players get traded all the time, one-for-one deals.
Yeah.
It doesn't often happen between rivals like Edmonton and Calgary, does it? People are going to want to link you and Luch in some way. Does that resonate with you at all? Do you feel that?
Well, I mean, I think when you get traded for one, that's the way it's gonna go, and I think especially when it's Edmonton and Calgary. So I think the fans like it. On Twitter and social media, they're going back and forth all the time, and they're passionate about their teams. They want their teams to do well. So, it is what it is in that regard. But I think, for both of us, I think we're just focused on having a good game and doing what we can to help our team win.
Do you know?
No, I don't. No, we had a lot of mutual friends and both played a long time against each other. So played them lots in the playoffs and played lots against them in Boston. And I just know him a little bit through that.
James, for us who've only seen you from afar,
Yep.
for the first time this year hooking up, why has it been a good fit for you? What's gone well for you personally since you arrived here?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think getting that chance to play and going out there and having the ability to play a lot more, I think, is the biggest thing. I think getting an opportunity on the first power play is obviously huge, but just being surrounded by a lot of great players that are helping me out too. So I had a good summer, came back in refocused and ready to go. Obviously, last year was hard, and for whatever reason, wasn't a fit, and felt like I wasn't getting that chance. And as a player, you just want that chance. So I got that here, and it's worked out well.
So when you think about even going back to Calgary and everything went hand in hand, was it as much about kind of what you had to do different, or just moving on was something that needed to happen?
Yeah, I think moving on, I think, for whatever reason, looking back, I signed a 5-year contract. I went into Calgary thinking I was going to be counted on as one of their top guys. And, when you sign that kind of contract, you want to be. And throughout my whole career, I've been counted on to score goals, and I have. And for whatever reason, it was a lot different there, and just wasn't able to do that. So, so we moved on, and I feel like it's been a good fit for both players, and both players needed a change.
Okay, so you scored, been very successful in power play here.
Yeah.
Now the second half of the season is here, and clearly this team's looking for 5-on-5 goals, not just from you, but from everybody.
Right.
Is that a place where you can, continue to improve your season?
Well, of course, yeah. Everyone's looking for 5-on-5 goals, on every team. So I think, for us, it's just doing those little things that are going to give us that little extra advantage to score 5-on-5. It's obviously been a little harder, but something we'll focus on, down the stretch here.
What is Archibald? I don't know how much you know about him, but he's a smaller guy. He's actually quite physical. He's had some big hits here in the last few weeks. He add a little extra spark to your line?
Yeah, he's feisty out there for sure. He does. He throws the body around lots, and for us, I think that's good. I think he does add that little bit of feistiness to our line. So I think we've switched lines up lots, but I think talking about 5-on-5, we just got to get back to those simple things, getting pucks to the net, doing everything, being harder around the net, second chances. Things that we've talked about, and things that make teams and players successful. So something we focus on for sure.
Thanks, James.
Yeah.
How do you guys not let Lucic do what he sometimes can do in these games?
Well, I think he's a player. He's a physical player. He's a guy that can swing games with his physical play. I don't think it's going to be any different tonight. He's been around the league for a long time. He's gained a lot of respect. You just hope you can contain him as much as possible. Hopefully, keep him as quiet as possible for sure.
And you come back from the break for round one in the Battle of Alberta.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Obviously, we're used to playing Calgary. We normally square off with them pretty early in the year, right? So to get them this time of year, obviously halfway point. If you look, both teams really close together, really close in the standings. The points are very important. Just adds a little more fire to the game tonight, which are two very important points, and you want to get off the break with a little bit of jump.
How exciting is it to play in a meaningful Battle of Alberta with both teams battling for a playoff spot?
Yeah, like I just said, it's kind of neat. And obviously, you play so early in the year where it's it's not that the games don't matter, but if you look now at the standings in the Pacific, how tight it is, it's important points, and if you're going to get in the playoffs, you have to do well in your divisional games, and to get them right out of the break here is an important game. It'll be fun.
What kind of stuff has Neil brought to the team, like off the ice, in here that we wouldn't know? What kind of guy is he?
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's fun. He's fun to be around. Likes to keep it light. You guys don't get to see that side of the game. You see us every day when we're on the ice, but we spend a lot of time together away from the rink. It's important that you have good guys, good locker room guys, and he's one of them. He's always cracking jokes. Doesn't take things too seriously away from the rink, and I know the guys enjoy. He's a little bit of a chirper, which can get under your skin a little bit on a day-to-day basis, but he's fun. He's been great for us.
Why'd you shave your beard?
Christmas, second half. Start fresh.
What's important for you guys against the Flames tonight?
I think we have to be disciplined. I think they're a good team, but so are we. I think our special teams have been good. Our 5-on-5, we'd like to get better, but these games, if things emotional boil over, you tend to be in the box all night. You tend to be chasing the game. It's important that we keep our emotions in check, and I think it's important that we play a simple game. There's no secret that both teams were off for 3 days, so it's going to be rusty, but I think with that in mind, if we play a simple game, play a predictable game, we'll give ourselves the best chance to win.
Zach, speaking of 3 days off, following the game on Monday, some of the players were saying how the break may have come at a perfect time in terms of being able to recalibrate and hit the reset button. Do you feel like that was important for you guys at this time right now?
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously, if you would have told us where we're sitting at the beginning of the year, we would have taken it, obviously. I've heard people talk about the games in the days, a short amount of days, but I don't think you can really look at schedule as a factor of needing a break. I think every team goes through it. You play 82 games in a short amount of time, so you can't use that as an excuse by any means, but it's definitely nice to get away from the game for a couple of days, recharge, and like I said, get ready for the second half. It's always big. They're important games, and if we're going to get into the playoffs, you need to win your divisional games.
Are you a guy that looks at standings every day or not?
Yeah, you definitely.
to kind of be back?
It feels good. I'm happy to be back. Edmonton's my home, and my family, my friends, they're all here, so I'm excited to be back.
How long is the break in Germany?
It's like 10 days, 12 days, so it's not too long, but it's enough time to see everyone that I love.
Everyone saw the assist you had the other day. Obviously, things are going well. How are things going in the Bundesliga for you?
Yeah, things are going good. I'm playing a little bit more games now. Getting some minutes with the team, and training's been going well. I'm trying to keep in shape, healthy as much as possible.
What's it like training with some of the best players in the world on an everyday basis, going there and then trying to fight to keep that spot?
It's good. You learn a lot from those guys. Some of those guys are World Cup winners. Some of those guys are Champions League winners. So as a kid from Edmonton going in there, I just try to soak up as much information as possible.
Tell us, I realize you were very young when you came to Edmonton, but who were you and your family and stuff when you arrived here and growing up here? What was it like being Alfonso Davies back when you were a kid?
It was like school. I think my parents focused on school more. Obviously they didn't have the education that they wanted in back in Africa. So us coming here, they just wanted us to get as much education as possible.
Where'd you play your first soccer and who helped you in all that?
My first soccer game, I think it was with the Edmonton Inter, a local team here in Edmonton, and then played for the Strikers after. My advisor Nick, he helped me with most of the things that I needed.
Leon is probably the biggest soccer fan in this room. Draisaitl, when you were talking there, what's your sense of his interest level, and he's got some games?
Yeah, he told me when he was like, I think 8, he played soccer for a year, but then I guess it wasn't for him, so he stuck to hockey. I also tried hockey for about a week, and I didn't really enjoy it too much because obviously it was too cold, and football was everything that I wanted to do.
Athlete to athlete, do you have some respect for? I mean, it's a very different sport, obviously, but you must have some respect for the way that hockey players go about their business compared to.
Yeah, no, tremendous respect to hockey players. It's not easy every day going out and getting hit, especially the goalies, like with all that padding on and that small puck trying to track it. Hand-eye coordination is a must. But I give tremendous respect to these guys. They're some amazing athletes.
Different type of fit as well.
Compared to soccer players, they're a different type of fit. With all the equipment they put on and how heavy it is, it's not easy.
Were you growing up as in here in Edmonton? Were you a big Oilers fan? Did you get a chance to go to any games?
When I was little, I went to Edmonton Oil Kings. I think that was the only hockey game I went to. I think this one would be my first NHL game in Edmonton. So I'm excited. I know they play a big rivalry today against the Flames. So I'm happy to see how that turns out.
What's it like for you being a role model, being somebody people point to and say, look, a guy from Edmonton can go play in one of the best soccer leagues in Europe? Have you embraced that? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to have. When I was little, I used to look up to some of the FC Edmonton guys. Them coming through, me wanting to be one of them, them coming to camps, coming to help us out, and being an inspiration to others is, it's just a dream because I also have a lot of experience athletes that I look up to as well.
You've been playing defense a little bit lately. Different skill set. Is that for you? More of a midfielder striker to be defensive in one of the best leagues in the world all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's different. Sometimes, obviously, I haven't playing defense for a long time. I'm obviously my mindset growing up, was attack. But now, it's defend. So it's different because if the time that I want to go for it, I want to express myself, I have to be aware of the guy behind me because one long ball, it's a big trouble.
So do you kind of expect that be a defender and then you'll go back to the attack?
break about the number of games you guys had played and the need for maybe a little bit of a mental break. How was it for you, and did you feel a little bit rested that way?
Yeah, it was nice for sure. Anytime you get to shut down and not think about hockey for a bit is always good. So, yeah, definitely feeling rested.
You guys just finished a run of 13 games in 26 days, and now you only play, I think, 9 in the next 36. So for a guy who plays a lot, is fatigue ever really a factor at this level for a guy like you?
I mean, it can be. But we do a good job of taking care of ourselves and make sure we're doing the right things off the ice and getting our rest. So, that's what being a pro is all about is making sure you're ready to go each and every night. Obviously, now we have a little bit of a stretch where, we have a couple of days off and then our break, and so it'll be a little bit different. But you got to find a way to stay in a routine and a rhythm, and yeah.
You played with Milan for a few years. Now you're playing against him. What do you have to kind of be aware when he's on the ice, or how do you kind of approach playing like that?
I mean, of course, yeah. He's one of the biggest, meanest guys in the game, and I shouldn't say meanest. He's one of the biggest, toughest guys in our game, and he plays a hard game, and you definitely have to be aware when he's on the ice.
You guys have a player in James Neal now. He's helped out on the power play a tremendous amount. Just maybe your thoughts on how much he's added in this situation, and trades happen all the time. So.
Yeah, he's been great. He scored a bunch of goals, obviously, he's been around a lot. He's won a lot. He's won everywhere he's been, pretty much. So, those are things that are traits that he has that you can't teach. So. He's definitely been great in our locker room.
Maybe just the need for getting up for a game like this. You shouldn't really have to be much extra motivation. It's Calgary, the standings being what they are. Is this an easy one?
Yeah, it's an easy one to get excited for. The only time you play Calgary, it's easy to get up for it. So, obviously this year with the added, with the standings being as tight as they are, this is a big one for us. Yeah.
I don't know how much you look at like underlying numbers as far as offense, zone possession, zone entries, all those stuff. You guys have had really positive numbers in all those areas, and then it just seems you have one big breakdown and results in a goal. How do you eliminate that? Because that part wasn't there early in the year, where you guys almost kind of beating yourselves lately.
Yeah, it just seems one mistake and it's they're capitalizing. That's all it is. Yeah, I mean, you got to try to find a way to limit that mistake, and you're obviously not going to play a perfect game, but the mistake you have can't be a big one.
And it's been pretty much a calendar year.
It's good.
Dave, you guys just finished off a stretch 13 and 24. You got a break for a couple days. How challenging is it getting a group to sort of get fired back up? And conversely, did the break come at a good time for you a bit?
Well, it did. That was a tough stretch for us for sure, and we knew going into the break, but we talked about it, at the start of that tough stretch, how it's going to tell a lot about our team and things we need to improve on. And I think in hindsight, we got a lot of those things. Now, it's coming back, quick break after a break where you can catch your breath a little bit, one quick game, and then we've got 3 days off. So we'll, with this being our 41st game, we'll hit the halfway point. There's some things that we have to address, but tonight we got to focus on getting some energy, prepared for a game that both teams have been off for 3 days. That, from my experience, usually ends up being a bit of a sloppy game. So take care of the details, make sure you're competing on pucks and not giving a game away rather than find a way to win a game.
Dave, I just want to ask you about Ethan Bear. Young guys sometimes, he wasn't expected to play as much as he's playing this year, and young guys sometimes have a tendency to hit the wall a little bit kind of at this time of year. Have you seen that from him, and I guess what are you expecting out of him?
You know what? I don't know if he hit the wall would be a bad way to put it, I think. I think expectations were incomplete coming in, and he kicked the door open with the opportunity he got, and he just ran with it. With the injury to Larson, he played big minutes, and he played well. And expectations go up when you play so well, so he got to a point where, hey, we love the way he's playing. Now, is that realistic over 82 games? Probably not. So he's come back a little bit, but that being said, I tell you, he still plays important minutes for us, and he's had a couple games where there's been some bumps in the road, but you can say that about a veteran player too, so he's been a real good player for us. He's chewed up a lot of minutes. He moves the puck well. He's going to be a good player for a long time, but there has been a few more ups and downs here the last month, but not unexpected, but still is a real night in, night out. He's a good player for us.
Dave, you've talked a lot about chasing the game, and that's obviously not what you want. There's been long stretches here in the last month where your team's played well, and then all of a sudden it'll make a major error, and that seems to be costing the goal. As a former player, how do you eliminate that from a team where you can play well for long stretches and then try to just eliminate the 5-bell mistake?
Yeah, that's frustrating for everybody because you feel like you're pushing the game along. You're doing a lot of smart things, playing hard, and then some of the mistakes we're making they end up looking like physical mistakes, but they're more mental mistakes because what you're trying to accomplish with it. So we talked about after the Vancouver game, the details of winning. That's you can play hard, you can try hard, but you've got to execute and do things at the right time. You've got to get saves at the right time. You can't take bad penalties at the right time. Or at bad times. There's things that you have to do to give yourself the best chance to win, and sometimes that's 2 minutes out of 60. But if you're not covering up those mistakes, those 2 minutes, it can cost you the game. And that's I would agree with that assessment. There has been stretches where we played well, but then we're giving away things that are what I call unearned things, and that's frustrating.
Milan Lucic is one of those players that, when he's on his game, there's a number of different ways he can affect games and kind of impose himself. What's the right way to play against a player like that to not allow him to have that impact?
You know what? Luch played here for a while. The players know him well. Luch has been in the league a long time. You know how he plays, but I'm more worried about how our guys are going to play tonight. I'm sure Luch is going to come out and play hard and work hard, and any player that plays against their old team, that's what they're going to do. But our guys need to focus on coming back out of the break and playing well, so that's what I'm worried about tonight.
Dave, you've had a lot of guys rotating through on that line with Neil and Newton Hopkins. It's Archibald tonight. What are you kind of looking for? What does a guy have to do? Like, obviously score, but what do you want from that winger?
It's not only just score, it's stabilize, create some chances. Like we're looking for somebody that's a fit there. Archie's played pretty well lately, so we're trying to balance things out a little bit, but we're haven't found the exact fit there yet for sure. All right.